I'm sure you have heard this already, the distinction between plotters and pantsers. This is an artificial distinction. Writers need to be both plotters and pantsers in order to write a good book. It just so happens that they are more inclined to one or the other. Plotting is an intellectual, rational affair. We do that with the right hemisphere of the brain. We pants with the left side of the brain, the creative hemisphere, which also feels, desires and imagines. Most writers alternate between plotting and pantsing. They pants the first draft and then add a plot to their story. Or they plot till they drop and then do the pantsing. What if there is a way of doing both at the same time? Turns out there is a technique that synchronizes the brain's two hemispheres and allows to use both brain hemispheres at the same time. This is an ancient technique proven the world over. This technique is called, drumroll, meditation. I'm sure that you already experienced a blessed writing moment, a flow state, during which the words streamed seamlessly through you and onto the page. Some refer to this as writing in the stream of consciousness. Amy Tan said that she lives for these moments, moments of serendipity and inspiration during which the feed of information and the writing are in sync. Moments during which the writing just flows. If you use the meditation I am about to teach you, you can induce such inspired writing flows more or less at will. You can't use any kind of meditation for writing. You need to use a guided visual meditation. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that for writing scenes. There are four basic types of scenes. A. Antagonistic scenes with an adverse stimulus and negative stake flips or slides. B. An antagonistic scene with an adverse stimulus and positive stake flips or slides. C. Protagonistic scenes with a protagonistic stimulus and a positive stake flip or slide. And D. Protagonistic scenes with a protagonistic stimulus and a negative stake flip or slide. In this video, we'll practice a meditation for the first scene type, the antagonistic scene with an adverse stimulus and negative stake flip. I did videos for the other scene types too. Look for them in this playlist. For this meditation, I used the 8 crafts scene structure. An antagonistic scene with an adverse stimulus has the following phases and milestones. First, there's the scene orientation. Who is the POV character? Where is she? In what situation is she in? And when does this scene take place? Second, the stimulus. Something happens that upsets the situation. The stimulus must impact the POV character. Third, stakes. The stimulus puts something at stake for the POV character. The stimulus is antagonistic. Fourth, the POV character's scene goal. The POV character reacts to the stimulus by formulating a goal, how to deal with the stimulus. Fifth, the POV character pursues that goal. And sixth, the POV character gets progressively involved in the struggle with the stimulus and he meets adversity. Seventh, despite the character's efforts, the stimulus unravels until it moves or flips the stakes, the so-called turning point. Eighth, the stake flip forces the POV character to go into an introspection and look for a way to save the day. Ninth, the POV character comes up with an ability or tool that will allow her to overcome adversity. 10th, the POV character applies the key ability or tool. This is the scene's climactic action. 11th, the POV character succeeds or fails. This is the scene outcome. Let me give you an example. Robert is a nerdy programmer who neglects apartment maintenance. One day he notices that the pipe below his kitchen sink is dripping. That's the stimulus. Robert is busy finalizing a program and ignores it. Next day the pipe leaks. Robert tapes the pipe and slows the leaking. That's the involvement. The leaking worsens. Water breaks through the tape and floods the kitchen floor. Now something is at stake. The kitchen floor and the ceiling of the apartments beneath Robert's. Robert watches a couple of plumbing videos on YouTube. That's the introspection, and he's looking for the ability. He closes the main water valve and takes the pipe apart. Turns out the culprit is the one out rubbering. Robert buys a new rubbering, the tool, and replaces the old one, the climax. The fix works, which is the outcome. Two more things before we start. First, imagine as many details as possible and write down everything you saw, heard and felt in your meditation, and that as clearly as possible. When you write the first drafts of a scene, you should always overwrite. Cut and edit later. Better too much material than too few material to edit. Movie directors overshoot and cut later too. Second, you may want to keep your mouse on the pause button so you can pause the video when you need more time for a particular phase of the visualization. Ready? Sit comfortably, relax, take a few deep breaths and close your eyes. Think of a scene you want to write. Don't go into details yet, just think of the situation and get ready to enter the scene. Now enter the scene. Look around. What do you see? Move through these surroundings. What do you hear? What do you smell? Touch some of the things in the scene. Visualize the scene as a present reality. This is happening now. How does a POV character look like? What is she wearing? What is she doing? Is she going somewhere? Is she waiting for something? Or is she working on something? Look over her shoulder and see what she is doing. What situation is your POV character in? Is she in a good or a bad situation? Is she in a fight? Is she sick or tired? Is she in danger? Is she with friends? What is the POV character's mood and emotional set? Is she angry, happy, sad, in good spirits? Now let the adverse stimulus enter the scene. Is it a person or an event? How does it change the situation? How does it impact the POV character? How does the POV character react to the stimulus? Does the POV character ignore the stimulus at first until it annoys her? How does she emote? What does she think? What does she feel? What scene goal does the POV character formulate to counteract the stimulus? The struggle between the POV character and the adverse stimulus is now in motion. Does the POV character try a workaround first? Is there something that distracts the POV character from pursuing the scene goal? Does she come across something helpful? Is there something that opposes her? Is there something that resists her? Does an opportunity present itself? Is there a complication? Does she face a conflict? The POV character has a partial success, but adversity kicks her back a little. The POV character has a partial success, but adversity kicks her back even further. Notice how the stakes slide back and forth. The stimulus unravels further and pushes the POV character more and more into the defense. At last, the stakes flip. The worst that could happen, happens. How does the POV character react to the stake flip? Does she have a visceral response? How does she emote? What does she think? What does she do? What does she say? And what does she feel? Now the POV character contemplates how to flip the stakes back. She ponders the nature of the stimulus and looks for a tool or action to overcome it. Does the POV character have multiple solutions and hence faces a crisis? What is that crisis? Best if the POV character faces a binary crisis. That's more dramatic. What is the POV character's decision? Based on the decision, what plan of action does she formulate? Next, the POV character executes a plan and battles the adverse stimulus. You're entering the scene's climactic action. Imagine this struggle in detail. It's the highlight of your scene. Does the POV character succeed or fail? How does she react to a failure or a success? How does she emote? What does she think? What does she do or say? What does she feel? Relax and wait a few moments while additional uninvited images stream in. When they subside, end the meditation and open your eyes. For important scenes like the inciting incident, midpoint, all is lost moment and climax, you want to meditate on the same scene a few times. Each meditation should end with a deliberate effort to make a couple of details sharper and brighter. This is always possible. Meditate only once a day. You want to give subconsciousness time to elaborate the meditation while you sleep and come up with new suggestions that you can harvest during the meditation on the next day. You can write down the scene anytime you want. For example, you can meditate on the scene, then write it down, then meditate again the next day and write down the next details, etc. Just don't edit the scene yet. You're in the creative writing phase, intelligent pantsing, so to say. Editing is an intellectual activity and would tilt the balance towards the right side of the brain and upset future meditations. A warning. Don't get emotionally involved in your scene. Images you conjure during a meditation, in particular images charged with emotions, have real power and a tendency to project into your external reality. This is the law of attraction. This is the reason why some writers suffer from their craft. By no means go to sleep right after a meditation. Do something else first to distract your mind. If you wake up from dreaming about your scene, write down what you dreamt right away before you fall asleep again and forget. I hope you enjoyed this video and visualized the cool scene. If so, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Love and light.